Namaste, angels. Thank you for liking, sharing, or subscribing, and for joining me for this week's love reading. We're going to get right into it. I just want to mention a couple things. So in the general reading this week, I didn't talk about any of the Abrahamic religions. There was nothing of particular note, in my opinion, to go over. So that gave me a lot of time to talk about the fact that Mars enters Gemini today, or entered Gemini today at 2:12 a.m. So in my time zone, that has already passed. That's already come and gone, and he's in there. We have Mars showing up with the cards. Message from afar, and all this fire and everything. Definitely can be representative of Mars for me. So I also mentioned that there will be an Aries that can also be connected to this Aries new moon this week. I didn't really talk about it. I will go into more detail on my Aries new moon reading. I always do a moon reading. In the meantime, I still have the Libra full moon reading up, and it seems that many of you have not seen it, and I highly, strongly suggest that you do. I mean, that was the last super moon for the month, for the year rather, of 2019. There will be no more. There had been an eclipse also tied to that. Mercury had been in retrograde. There was a lot of really strong celestial activity going on at that time that, you know, has and will continue to affect us beyond this new moon that's coming. So if you haven't seen that one, I suggest you do. Other than that, I'm also going to, okay, this is interesting stuff I'm being shown. I wasn't permitted to just pick up the pile. And so now I'm shown, well, this is in reverse, but the Jack of Spades in this deck. This is my Egyptian, like, it's like a Sibylla oracle, Egyptian one. And the Jack of Spades, which is about like a backstabber, which is kind of evident from the picture. The illustration was at the top. But what I was going to start with, Jack of Spades, also spades, the element of spades in regular cards, playing cards, translates to swords in the tarot, although the cards don't necessarily have the same meaning. So this would be like the Knight of Swords, but the Knight of Swords is not about backstabbing. The King of Hearts is who I'm going to start with. It's card number 13, which is interesting because 13 in the tarot is the Death card, which represents the sign of Scorpio, and Hearts, the element of Hearts, translates to the element of Cups. So this would kind of be like the King of Cups, and it is a similar person, similar description. This is somebody who is authoritative and handsome and sweet, like everybody looks at him, he's dreamy, you know, and they look up to him and admire him, but the line between that and ego is thin. So that's his deal. Then there is Cernunnos. Cernunnos, who I used to call Cernunnos and stare at and say, is this a woman or a man? Or sort of both. You know, how Prince used to say, you know, like he was neither. He was neither. He's something you never understand. That's how this appeared to me. So I did something that I don't usually do, and I looked him up to find out exactly who he was. And it is a male gendered god, Celtic. So that explains why the C is a K. It's Cernunnos, not Cernunnos, but just like in Celtic, right? The C is like a K sound for us Americans. And he's like the god of fertility, which is how I always picked him up intuitively. You know, I said that this is obviously an earth deity connected to nature and sex. And he was coming through very Capricorn-like and devil-like from the tarot, and that's how I always read his energy. And apparently that's exactly who he was. Like the husband or mate of the Divine Mother, which also translates to most mythology, I'll call it. And you know, it's like Pan. You know, he is a vibration of divine father, whether one likes it or not. And so this would be like Capricorn and Cancer, you know, like that mating, that pairing, both being, you know, like a lower vibration of the actual divine mother and father. So this may be coming up because of sex, because sex was pretty prevalent in the general reading, and I believe was connected to Mars in Gemini. It was connected to something I talked about yesterday, so that must be it. Also, be willing to forgive, and forgiveness was super prevalent throughout the general reading, that there was going to be some things that came up. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. And with my tarot deck, the Nine of Summer, which is the Nine of Cups, essentially. All about your dreams coming true, right? Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that is still to come. It's also like a big resounding yes, if you have yes or no love questions from the Minor Arcana. But first, the dice. I'm beginning with Dirty Movie, which can also be connected to like sexual energy, FaceTime and things like that for me, online dating. Yes. So like the Nine of Summer, another yes. And spend money. Spirit says massage. Still spend money. And the answer to the next question about which you're unsure is no. All right, so I think I'm going to, I hadn't even decided like how I was going to use these. I just felt what cards, what decks I was meant to pick up. I think I'm going to start with these and do the spread from the masculine's perspective with these, beginning with be willing to forgive. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. And opening to shield yourself. Protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. Shield yourself. And twin flame. I knew this was going to come up. I promise you, I was just sitting here saying twin flame's going to come up. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. Twin flame. And sacral chakra. So there's that sexual energy too. You are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies right now. Respect the sensitivities by avoiding harsh items, situations, and relationships. And actually, I talked about briefly the sacral chakra as well as the throat chakra in the general reading, because a lot of orange and a lot of purple came up. Throat and crown. Twin flame. Okay. Workshops and seminars. Attending and giving speeches is part of your spiritual path and purpose. Be open to teaching and learning. This can be something that some do as a couple in some kind of capacity. And the overall energy is sacral chakra again. So this is a good week. Those of you who also are trying to get pregnant with all this sexual energy that keeps popping up between sacral chakra, Carnonos, and in the general reading, I actually began with the Empress, who's also about fertility and sexual energy. Divine Feminine. The masculine as it relates to the feminine this week. In love, what he thinks of her, wants of her. Himself. A union as a whole. overall, specifically what the masculine would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender, however you want to look at it, toward the union, the energy he would have her put toward the union, what the energy he himself is willing to, and what the universe would have both put toward the union, but they'll have to affirm to it, yes, we're willing to do this, and then the universe will give you the full support that you need to actually make whatever this is happen, and the outcome. Divine feminine, law of attraction. It's all about manifestation for us, and particularly in our relationships. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of those energies. That doesn't mean it's bad. They could be growing. There's a lot of Jupiter that showed up, a lot of Sagittarius showed up in the general reading. So that's growth, expansion. Or there could be people that you're cutting off. I also saw breakup. So watch it to know what I'm talking about. Masculine, as it relates to the feminine this week. Power animal. So he sees her like a vision of strength this week. Your animal spirit guide is a guardian to you and is helping you with this situation. And she may be giving him particular help, maybe even in the 3D sense, through something in his life. Masculine, as it relates to himself. Crystals. The energy of crystals supports you and helps you with your present situation. So whatever this thing is that the masculine is going through, he doesn't only have to rely on himself or on the feminine. He can also look toward healing through crystals. And the union as a whole, Archangel Michael's got it. You're working very closely with this powerful archangel who's protecting and guiding you through this situation. And this makes a lot of sense with Mars in Gemini. Of course, Archangel Michael seen as a Mars, a Martian like character, I'll say. Aries and those gods, Aries, and Eros. So anyway, he's envisioned that way by many people, and then to also have the connection to the swords, to the Gemini. So it's like all of that in one. He is protecting the union this week. Overall, you are a powerful light worker, and it's safe for you to be powerful. Your spiritual power brings great blessings in loving service to the divine. It could be a lot of awakening of gifts, maybe some stuff the masculine is having trouble understanding about himself, the growth and expansion. And so that may be why he is looking to the support of the feminine, who's a little further along, perhaps at maybe a higher, slightly higher, low enough for them to see, for them to be on the same plane, but slightly higher dimensional reality, vibration. And so looking to her for support, maybe even teaching, like the card we saw prior to this about workshops and seminars. I just saw it as a teaching moment, and I felt that maybe it was going to be happening together. So that can be happening toward one another. You don't have to be teaching other people outside of your union necessarily. It can just be the two of you. So that may be what that is. He's seeing her as this, like, you're my spirit animal, because you're giving me that much support. And then he has the crystals to look to, and then on top of that, Archangel Michael supporting the whole thing. So all that could be together, could be pretty overwhelming. And he's just coming into this place where he's realizing, yeah, I'm pretty powerful on my own too, which is cool. What the masculine would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender toward the union, like what she should be focused on in his mind, it is integrity. Align your actions so that they match your values and your inner knowingness of what's right for you. Integrity, of course, also very much attached to the element of air, swords, and crown chakra, and throat chakra, right? Meaning what you say, saying what you mean, not misleading people, being honest, being outspoken, upfront. What the masculine himself is willing to do, and this is clear yourself, which I think is also evident by these other cards, and especially the other card he selected for himself, specifically crystals. That is a way to work on clearing yourself, healing your energy. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. Masculine may also need some actual energy healing. You know, separate and apart from this, all kinds of different mechanisms for that, you know, for like, I'm talking about like Reiki and, you know, what I do, which is separate and apart from Reiki, has nothing to do with that, is purely of a divine intercession, but works toward even, you know, physical ailments. So whatever this is, again, that the masculine is dealing with could possibly be further helped through additional energy work or even body work, I'm feeling. Maybe connected to massage, to the dice. Body work. So massage, acupuncture, all of that kind of stuff helpful to the masculine specifically so far this week. And what the universe would have the two do, but they'll have to give it, ooh, singing and dancing. Are you going to sit it out or are you going to dance? That's what the universe is saying here. They'll help you to get up the gumption, the confidence to dance if that's what you're struggling with. But you're going to have to first affirm, yeah, I'm not sitting it out, I'm dancing. And then you'll get it. Express yourself and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. And the outcome, oh, Archangel Raphael, the healing angel is with you, supporting your healing work. And it's sitting here next to clear yourself for the masculine and next to integrity for the feminine. So you could also possibly, again, use some sort of healing work, but maybe specifically crown chakra, throat chakra, integrity. Archangel Raphael also, of course, the archangel associated with the heart chakra. So that's why I thought it was so special that he was the outcome. He's got that part taken care of. He works on healing that. I guess I'll use the Keepers of the Light Oracle next. Again, beginning with Kronos. This also goes toward anybody who's struggling with their sexual energy. Maybe doesn't know where to put it, what to do with it, how to handle it. It's overwhelming. Or maybe you're having, there's some sort of sexual frustration, difficulty that somebody is experiencing. Maybe this is connected mostly to the masculine too, because I told you I recently learned that he was, a male god. So maybe there's erectile dysfunction or something that somebody wants to look into. But I've had feminine clients who had issues with sex stemming from past experiences in their lives and things, and we've worked on those, healing those and rectifying those with energy healing as well. So that could be something that's coming up for somebody out there. All right. Opening opposite him to Bridget, however, inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. So we just saw that in the other spread. There was all those cards that were indicative of recognizing one's power. Again, particularly the masculine this week, it seems. This Bridget, especially with her fiery red hair and the fire that she holds in her hands, she's very fire sign to me. And for whatever reason, particularly Leo, is what I feel. And there was a lot of Leo in addition to the Sagittarius that came up in the general reading this week. So although everything that's happening is supposed to be happening, as far as the celestial system is concerned, in Aries, with the sun being in Aries and the moon being in Aries, I felt them least, to be honest with you, of the fire signs. But that doesn't mean that this isn't, your situation or something that's about to come up isn't involving a fire sign directly. So Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. more importantly, this is about having the strength, and maybe that's why I associated with Leo, Major Arcana card Strength, which represents Leo, to face whatever comes your way. Bridget. Okay, wait a minute. So we got Serapis Bay, Ascension, move into true self, rise above the darkness. The light is here. So there is a growth and expansion again this week for us. He was upside down. I like to keep the cards how they were. All right, he was upside down. And Mercury, open communication. So here comes that crown chakra, throat chakra, the energy of Gemini, where Mars is moving into this week, or today, where he moved into today. Get a weight off your chest. So I just talked about saying what you mean and meaning what you say. This card says, get a weight off your chest and speak up with love and be heard. Bridget, I'll do one more. The Divine Director, intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you're being guided. Happiness is your purpose. Bridget. And we are back to Serapis Bay and Ascension. Overall energy is Diana. Focus intention. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. So she's talking about manifestation, which is what the feminine started with in the last spread. Law of attraction, manifestation. So this may be a special note, more so for us than the masculine. Diana also, basically she's Artemis. Right, so the Romans call her Diana, and the Greeks call her Artemis. She's associated with the moon. That's why she's got this crescent over her head. And the crescent moon is more akin to the new moon than, you know, a more full one. So I think that this is in part showing up because of the moon in Aries this week, the new moon in Aries this week, because the moon always shows up in my readings when there's about to be one of those major, you know, moon transits, full moon, new moon. But she's telling us to focus our intentions and to help us with manifestation. And that's how she does it with her bows and arrows, right? She looks and she gets focused for very one thing. She spots what she wants and she hits the target. And so that's what she's guiding us to do when she shows up here. What else am I getting from Diana? You may be getting messages at night. So one of the decks that I was going to start with was with messages from afar. You may be getting them particularly at night and maybe in your dreams. She's associated with like being a night owl. And she's usually surrounded by a bunch of animals and stuff, wild animals. And it's like the ones that come out in the dark, you know, as opposed to the daytime. And so that she shows up to say like messages that you may be missing in the dark, maybe because you're busy. I mean, in the daytime rather, maybe because you're busy, you go to work, you got your kids, you know, whatever your life involves. At night, it's typically, I understand people have schedules where they work a night shift or whatever, but typically, on average, at night is when you have your time to yourself, even if that's spent sleeping. And so that may be when Diana is showing up for you. Divine being or couple. Recent past. Masculine's higher self. Near future. Blocks individual progress or couple progress or union. What the feminine can do to help herself, however, and what the masculine can. And what the universe again recommends for both, but they'll have to affirm it, you know, themselves in order to get that full support. And the outcome card. Divine being or couple. White eagle. Ancestor spirit. Connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. This sort of energy, not necessarily this card, because I don't think I've used this card in at least like a month, but this energy of looking into your heritage, As it relates to your love life, so I think it's like somebody's, siblings or parents, maybe you don't, maybe you need to find them in order to move on with your life. Maybe you don't know who they are, or you think the wrong person or people are your, family. It could be not even attached to DNA and blood, although that's what I've been feeling when I picked up cards. One of the other decks actually has a Native American gentleman on it also, that I can, oh, it's my past life deck, that I've been feeling like something about DNA. Which could be connected to personal power too, if you think of it in terms of like, like the song, I got loyalty inside my DNA. About who you are. Okay, wait a minute, I'm trying to gather myself because there's too many different things at once. Picture like a bunch of people talking to you at the same time. You're like, wait. All right, so for some, it is about, again, your own personal power, personal strength, coming into that, realizing who you are, trying to develop an understanding of that. Maybe you do need to attend workshops or seminars or readings like this, like mine. I don't know who else teaches in theirs. If you find somebody else that you feel resonates with you, watch them, whatever. But you need to begin to come into an understanding of what's happening around you, and that it's more than just about love and love life. Like if you're truly like one of these beings on this divine, it's very specific divine path, because there are several paths and not everybody's on this one, not everybody's on this journey. The true twin flame, what's been come to be called as the twin flame journey, only consists of about 650,000 people, and there are 7.4 billion people in the world. So it's a small group. It's a small group when you really think about it. And you need to begin to learn to understand what's happening to you. Maybe you need a mentor. I don't officially do that, although I am a minister, so I do counsel people. I'm a licensed and ordained minister. I do counsel people. And I've been asked to get into mentorship, and I probably will very officially or more officially soon. But there are people who do that already. Somebody might need that kind of help. And that goes towards energy healing also. All right, for others of you, it's more related to blood. And you don't know who you are in that sense, like in a literal sense, or who you're missing pieces of your family. So you feel like a whole. You're missing, this, I keep feeling sibling, maybe parent. For you males, masculine, mama's baby, papa's maybe, as they say. It could be a child that's not yours, or something that you're thinking is. However you feel this connects to you, this need to connect to your lineage, and whether that is literal as it relates to blood, or if it's more a spiritual thing, and again, coming into your own self, or it's more of an emotional thing, and who you consider family in that sense, whether they are your blood or not, apply it to you in that sense. But this is where we all are right now. I actually do think from myself personally, it may be in some aspects literal, connected to being Native American, because I've said for years that I was going to contact my tribe, the chief, fill out the papers and all that kind of stuff. I never have. So some of you maybe have that also going on in your life, that you know that you're connected to a certain group of people, but you've never officially connected yourself. All I know is, like, I know how I was raised. I know my grandfather was, but he was dead before I was born. So he was a Cherokee. My mother's black, of African and Cherokee blood. And I know on her mother's side, so my maternal grandparents is Catawba, which is now also associated with Cherokee. Sometimes it's considered the same thing. I know the chief and a bunch of other natives came to my grandmother's funeral, but I don't know my lineage. Wow. I'm getting chills. I don't know my lineage. I don't know how much Catawba I have. I know I'm a quarter Cherokee. Anyway, so something like that, other people, it's not just me who's going through, it's not my personal reading. This other people are going through other things relatable to this card. Recent past. I had to get over that for a second first. Recent past. Green Taurus. Supreme protection. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation. Trust. So you may have gone through something recently that may have felt like the tower. Like all of a sudden there was some kind of upheaval. You separated from something or someone or groups. And it may have hurt you. You may have felt bad, like you didn't want something to end. Something ended. It needed to, and its purpose for ending is because it was an etheric cord of attachment, and maybe a negative cord that you no longer needed to be associated with. It wasn't working towards your higher good or higher purpose or the higher good in general for humanity. And so you're being moved and freed of that so that you can grow. So recent past, I'm feeling that a bunch of people experienced something where they were, whether good, bad, or indifferent, you know, it's in terms of how they felt, something was cut off, something ended. Near future. The Shekinah, sacred self. Unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. So not only does she have another one of these crescent moons here, but she's talking about dancing. The universe guided us toward dancing in the first spread. She's talking about your sacred self, which I just talked about, and as it relates to the ancestor spirit. She's crossing the ancestor spirit. And so again, I guess the larger message from both of these cards is about coming into your own self, your own power, and understanding what that means. And getting an understanding of what the journey is truly about, you know, as opposed to I just, you know, really am interested in having this really awesome boyfriend or girlfriend, and that's my focus. There's so much more to this journey than just that. You know what? I'm going to read this card. I don't usually do that, but I'm going to see what else it says here. The Shekinah, sacred self. Unleash your spirit. Express your gifts. Dance to the sacred rhythm of life. About. The Shekinah is the twin flame of the Holy Spirit. It is the female aspect of the God particle or creation energy. She is more of an essence than a being, but has the ability to show herself in ways that we will understand. She is acknowledged in the sacred teachings of Judaism and also the Sophia of Christ in the Gnostic Gospels. She's a powerful female voice of spirit who is here to bring about equality and to help the world move on from the male-only image of God. She reminds us that God is all-loving and accepting. Whenever she appears in a reading, she points out the change makers, the love creators, and the gift sharers of the world, who are here to unite all the hearts around the world. See, that's the larger part of the picture that I was talking about. Not just to fall in love with somebody, but to unite all the hearts around the world. That's really the object of all of this. Extended message. Don't feel the need to hold back or to dampen your spirit. This is the time to celebrate. There is truly a feeling of dance and joy around you at this time as you fully recognize your splendor. So again, coming into your own, recognizing who you are, what you are. You are a sacred being who defies gravity every day just by being alive and being a sense of balance and equality to the world. So I'm not disappointed that I read that. Masculine's higher self. Hilarion, divine healing, just like in the other spread. So again, I'm going to say your divine masculine may require healing. You may be able, if you're in that kind of relationship or talks where you can recommend it to him or have him watch this or have him work with crystals or whatever, do that. If you are not, you may want to look into healing on his behalf. Honor your sensitivity. Retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. I also saw in the reading that somebody, and maybe the divine masculine specifically in the general reading, may need a break. So I talked about it not really being a breakup, but a break. And so that can be what this is too. You need time to retreat and to recharge and to heal. Blocks to individual progress or union is Odeon. Psychic insight. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is and follow your intuition. So our block has been, again, not knowing who we are, the sacred self, not understanding this being that we're growing into, right? Continuing to sin toward. And so maybe not paying attention to our intuition or not knowing how to follow it, not knowing what's true, what's illusion, what's reality, what's a real, genuine message, and what is just me convincing myself that it is. So that it's important to work on self this week. What the feminine can do to help herself in general, it is Sanat Kamara, light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. I actually have a healing mechanism that I perform called light activation. You know what, I'm going to share, I'll share it on my YouTube channel, a Facebook comment that one of my clients who had light activation about a week or two posted, like yesterday or the day before. But according to her, in her own mouth, she has been propelled forward thanks to that light activation. Masculine, what he can do to help himself, it's El Moria, awakening presence. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. So just protect yourself, but allow yourself to grow and allow yourself to learn these new lessons and teachings. You are, again, awakening. So the feminine may be more awakened than you at this moment, but that, you know, you're still equal beings. That doesn't make her any better than you. Just means your path is different, but you're growing into yourself too. The universe recommends for both, but you'll have to affirm. It is Krishna, devotion. Trust your spiritual guidance. Just what I said here. The block is that we're not paying attention to our intuition and things, maybe because we don't understand it. But Krishna shows up to say, trust it anyway. Your commitment has been recognized and you are loved unconditionally. So you're being supported. They're not going to allow you to fail. And the outcome. Lady Nada, heart awakening. Awaken to acceptance and divine love. Give and receive in balance. So that's kind of like the last spread ending on Raphael, which is heart chakra, right? She's heart awakening. So it's kind of like the same thing. These other cards I think I'm going to lay together at the same time. Like usually I'll do some and then I'll clarify with more, but I think I'm just going to lay them both immediately. Again, I'm beginning with Nine of Summer, which is the Nine of Cups essentially. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. And opening to the Three of Spring, which can be about a party of three, possibly even a love triangle. Let's just keep it real. Stop to take time to review and to make long-term plans, capitalizing upon your past successes. It's appropriate to pat yourself on the back for all your accomplishments, but you may also need some patience for the next phase to pay out. So that can be part of this too. Like your dreams are coming true, but don't expect it. It's not going to be overnight. Like some things are going to take some time to manifest. Nine of Summer. Eight of Winter. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you first affirm your own freedom. Nine of Summer. And the Ten of Winter. So something that was difficult, maybe that, whatever that was that made us feel as if we were trapped and stuck, coming to an end. Could have been betrayal, backstabbing, maybe party of three. Maybe you found out somebody was cheating or something like that. Or you found out you were part of a love triangle that you didn't volunteer to be a part of. Something like that. Whatever it is, a breakup, a break. Maybe you got ghosted. They didn't tell you they needed a break. You know, they just went on the break. Whatever that was, that feeling of hurt, loss, pain, betrayal, backstabbing, like the Jack of Spades that showed up from the Sibylla deck in the beginning, that's coming to an end. The end of a career path, project, or relationship brings mixed feelings of joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. So the last spread also was indicative of something recently in the past having ended. And that can be what this is connected to also. Maybe that's ending though, or has ended in connection to your prayers, your intentions. And Tower. Remember I said that something came in like the Tower. Here's the Tower. Major Arcana card 16. In this deck, it's called Life Experience, but it is the Tower. Important changes are coming to your life that will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. So the Tower is swift, right? It can be very unexpected. It just comes in. It's not necessarily bad. It can be good. Again, in answer to our prayers, the Tower can just come in. All of a sudden, something can change overnight. Or at least be initiated. Something can be set in motion. I'll do one more. Six of Spring. See, so you see it's a good Tower, or the outcome at least is good. This is about promotion, so an ascension, being raised up, maybe a deeper commitment. It's about success, victory. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, or find that you're singled out for special recognition. You've done an amazing job and you deserve all the attention that you're getting. It can be a literal promotion too. That helps you in your love life also. Doesn't just affect your finances when you get a raise or promotion at work or something. Makes everything better, especially if you're single. If you're not with somebody yet, maybe like this. The Nine of Autumn. Your success has brought you financial security and the reward of much deserved time off to enjoy your own company. So even if you are coupled, this can be about that need to spend some time by yourself, get to know yourself, to understand who you are, what it is you're going through, all of that. You may suddenly have a brilliant idea for a business or self-employment opportunity that will be very successful as well. The overall energy is the Six of Summer, which is essentially the Six of Cups, with I was shown the 10 of Summer, or 10 of Cups immediately behind it. So that's good. People like to see the Six of Cups in their reading. So you might not like what I'm about to say, but I will say it anyway. First, let me read what it says here in the card. The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can still be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. Yes, it means all those things. Also being shown like a little crest, a little new moon here. So I think that has some significance also. With the new moon in Aries, that maybe somebody could be returning to your life at that time. And that's what I was going to talk about, actually. Because it can be about exes coming back, what I was feeling was, there's a saying that some, exes are exes for a reason, and that is sometimes true. Like, not everybody that you break up with or breaks up with you, after whom you're still pining, that you're still in love with, that's no longer interested, is your twin flame. Some I don't know where that comes, but sometimes that happens where people just become obsessed. That's a toxic thing. That's not a love. That's a toxicity, a codependent situation, one-sided situation. So if somebody does return, we're going to want to think about it, if this is what we really want or not. Some people are meant to stay in that X zone. For people who are couple, there's a dark side of the Six of Cups too. So while everybody wants to see it because it represents love, six equals love, and cups are about love and emotion. It can be the couple too. Is like living in the past. You got to get over the past. You got to be ready to move toward the future, and I think that's one of the reasons why this new moon is in the picture too. It's like a new dawn, a new phase, a new chapter, and we both got to be willing to ascend and grow toward that new chapter. You know, if one of us is stuck, then we're both stuck. If both of us are stuck and living in the past and unwilling to grow, then, you know, maybe our contract is over, because if you're not continuing to learn and or grow, what is the purpose? So, yeah. I'm sorry if I put a damper on the Six of Cups for anybody, but I just felt the need to present those aspects of it. I should have laid the other cards first because they're bigger. The other deck I'm using. And I still don't have my laptop, although Mercury has gone direct. I still don't have it. They moved the date out now to 4/1. Hopefully that'll be a true date, and I won't have to be mindful during the readings of the time like I've been. But this one I'm going to end soon so that I can make sure I can get it up to you guys. So with this deck, my Universal Love Oracle, I'm going to begin with the message from afar. Again, this could be Mercury sending us a message. This could be Jupiter, a message of growth and expansion. It could be something tied specifically to a fire sign, like Bridget, maybe a Leo or a Sagittarius, maybe somebody from whom you hear long distance, or you're at a distance, or there's emotional distance between you. You haven't been in contact with something, separation, all these things. They could be, you know, actually physically calling you or texting you or something. FaceTime, that could be the dirty movie from the dice. And opening to tantric union. On that note, yeah, this is about an ascended connection in dreams, telepathically, possibly even intimately, sexually, you know, in a physical sense. Transience, healing head to toe, surrender, to allow for that. Transience. And golden path, meaning you're on the right track. We are headed toward, you know, the Emerald Ray. Just like Dorothy and pals were headed toward the Emerald City, you know, they were going to receive their gifts at the Emerald City and or be fully restored and healed, have all they needed once they got to the Emerald City. And the same thing goes for us, you know, as we approach the Emerald Ray of healing, which is where, you know, Archangel Raphael's domain, and he showed up as an outcome in the first spread. And soulmate at the end of the rainbow, right? The yellow brick road, it's like somewhere over the rainbow. That's where dreams come true. 9 of Cups. And then here it is with this divine being emerging from a lotus flower under a rainbow and a full moon. Soulmate. So this could definitely be telling us something again about specifically the Aries moon this week. You know what, on that note I'll cut, especially in the interest of time. This pile did not want to be picked up. Okay. Huh. That's why. Look at the card that wanted to stay down to be last. Message from afar again. So I think that's confirmation of what I just said. The Aries moon is definitely bringing us something special. Overall energy is balance, and it's about the yin and yang. The yang being the masculine, the yin being the feminine. It is air and water for me, just in looking at it. And there's these little spheres. I don't know if you can see them, these little ball circles, like strategically placed on the masculine in the picture. His throat chakra, his third eye chakra, his crown chakra. He's got something to say. Just like the Mercury card that showed up, and just like the other things that I had said, connection with the rest of the reading, that there's a need for healing for everybody always you know, but particularly the masculine this week and feminine, if you're able and you're in a position to help him with that healing, even if it's just in an energetic sense or he doesn't know what you're doing, um, to help him to heal, do it. If you have, you know, the capacity to help him to heal, not to manipulate him, not to put a curse on him, not to do a spell, even if you consider yourself a good witch or whatever it is, nothing like that. But if you have the potential, the capacity to heal, to send healing and help, or to, you know, to lead him to it, then that's what's recommended. Because here also in the picture, aside from, you know, having something clearly to say, this masculine, he's crying, and basically it's like she's consoling him, she's supporting him, she's doing all, and he's just held this stuff in, these emotions in, so long, to the point that now they're emerging in the form of tears, and his lips are still, he's tight-lipped here, right? So he still hasn't opened up that way, but he's began to cry, and this really goes back to that heart chakra, so back to the Archangel Raphael, back to the awakening heart card that we ended on in the second spread, also, and a need to allow that to happen. You know, his heart to awaken, to open, to expose himself to those emotions, and for us all to do that. I mean, whether you're male or female, but that I'm talking about the picture. It's definitely a male, and perhaps speaking more so to the masculine, because that's what's turned up in my reading too. You know, that the healing is more so needed this week in particular for the masculine. It also could be speaking pretty specifically about Mars, ruler of Scorpio, in addition to Aries, so water, in Gemini, air sign Gemini, and that yin and yang coming together too. It can be connected to the need to spend time by yourself also, and, you know, getting to know yourself and understanding yourself. If there is somebody professional, so whether it's healing, you know, in the traditional sense of thinking about energy healing, or healing in another way, that's something else that's therapeutic for you. Maybe talking to somebody. If you have a friend you can talk to, you feel comfortable with, do that. If you need a professional, do that. If you're comfortable just working on it by yourself, maybe you want to write it down. Some people feel if they can't speak certain things, they rather write them down. Get a journal, do that. And again, this can be for anybody, masculine or feminine. I'm just feeling it more so for the masculine, and the cards have demonstrated that it's more important for the masculine as well. Again, this week in particular. That doesn't mean the same will be true next week. Next week might be our week, feminine. Crowning the masculine, it is unity, major arcana card 5, which represents the sign of Taurus, or maybe another earth sign, earth energy. Embrace this time of deep spiritual growth. You may feel called to act as a mentor or to find a teacher. So I've talked about that too, that you may need a mentor. You may be meant to speak to other people or to each other, to teach each other, learn from each other. Spend time with others who are also on a sacred path. That can be your divine masculine or your divine feminine, or whomever you feel comfortable with, again. And the other card is supporting that. Divine guidance is what you need, masculine, and you are to surrender to it. When the moon shows up, that's another meaning for the moon, at least as far as I'm concerned. It is about surrender, specifically like the feminine energy of surrender, completely letting go and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, which can be difficult for the masculine sometimes. You know, they're prideful in a different sense than the feminine, and so it can be a little harder for them. So you're guided to surrender to that, allow yourself to be taught, to learn, and to teach someone else as appropriate, or to maybe remove yourself from, you know, change your environment. The people, places, and things with which you surround yourself perhaps don't align with your current, you know, dimensional reality, your vibration, and so you need to make adjustments. That can be that too. Also, the divine may be guiding you toward some sort of commitment as it relates to love with a particular person. And maybe you've been fighting that. Unity, or Major Arcana card 5, is actually the Hierophant in the traditional tarot. So it's about commitment. You could be moved toward relationship. Surrounding the masculine, it is the Hanged Man, Major Arcana card 12. It's called Awakening in this deck. Look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry about your progress being halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. And it's here tied with the Mystic, which is also more air and water for me, maybe most specifically Aquarius, with the star being over her third eye chakra, third eye. But air and water in general, and the Hangman represents for me the planet Neptune in the sign of Pisces, which it rules, so that's your water. But it is about spirituality. Neptune and Pisces rule higher love. So as it relates to the love reading, can be about that. It can be about the need sometimes to have patience and allow for growth, allow for different things to transpire on a spiritual level rather than rush. And if something appears to be hanging in the balance or in limbo, to allow itself to play out. Speaking of the balance, it is Major Arcana card 14, which is called Balance in this deck, but is really temperance. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. It's about healing. It is about the need to come together, to compromise, to negotiate, to work out our differences or look past them, accept them. This card is connected, or temperance in general, connected to the sign of Aquarius for me, because I always see it as a water bearer. And there's always water involved. There's usually somebody actually, a being actually pouring water between two vessels. But in the tarot, balance actually represents the sign of Sagittarius. And here we have more of Aquarius energy coming through, more water bearer, and the need to listen. So coupling it with temperance, again, it's about compromise and the need to listen to each other and to exchange ideas and then appreciate and recognize and respect each other's, and then find a way we can sort of meet in the middle in agreement on something and come together that way. Crowning the feminine, the High Priestess. This is a time to pause and to reflect, not to take action. Trust in your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intervention. So the High Priestess, she is somebody who just sits back and watches before she makes a move. And this time you're being specifically guided to do just that and to not make a move, to allow the universe to do what it has to do. Again, we might be in this air of suspension that the masculine is feeling. Let the miracles happen. If you feel them happening, you get images, you get hints as to what's occurring. Trust that intuition, because dreams can come true, miracles can happen, but we have to maintain our faith. The number 2 in numerology is largely about faith, right? When we're manifesting, we start with 1, and that is an idea, that is a thought. We're supposed to speak a positive one, or think a positive one over ourselves. Because if you think a negative one, you can manifest that too. Then 1 is all about the manifestation. 2 is about the faith that it can actually come true, right? That those things that we spoke or thought can actually manifest into physical reality. 3 is when we begin to see them take form, and 4 is when they're here. So that's what the 2 means. Surrounding the feminine, the Ace of Winter. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. And it's coupled with the card Enchantment. And here we can see a blue ray and a red ray going through this feminine who is in full surrender, eyes closed, head tilted back. She's all scarred, so she's been through something, she's experienced something, right? But the scars, the battle wounds, are not stopping her from continuing to go through something and continuing to be willing to surrender and to have faith and to listen. So she's allowing here both the yin and the yang, both the Mars and the Venus, to penetrate her and to heal her. And that's what the Ace of Winter is about too. Success and triumph after a time of difficulty, and the willingness to still continue to trek down the road, even if there's still further bumps, because there may be. And just to allow the universe to help you and to create miracles in your life. Feminine subconscious, it is relationship, coupled with the wheel. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress by working on not only your relationship with other people, but the relationship with yourself too. And you work to improve that, and you're going to see improvement in all your life with all of your relationships with the assistance of Jupiter. Crowning. Major Arcana card, the Sun atop sorrow. So where there was hurt, where there was betrayal, where there was void, where there was pain, where there was, past memories that we couldn't move beyond, that were keeping us in fear and frozen and limited. Light is being shown, the truth is coming out, people are speaking up, speaking their truth, living their truth, things are getting better, and your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness and prosperity and success. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments that you so richly deserve. So this is you actually manifesting everything that you need. This is it coming true even after pain, moving beyond pain toward the future. Which again was what I was feeling with our overall energy. And I didn't want to put a damper on the Six of Cups, but I felt like it was about being stuck in the past. And there's, maybe attached to some pain. And that there's a need, a strong need to move toward the future. Even if it is with the ex, If you're moving forward with an ex, we got to move forward. We can't stay where we were. We can't repeat the same mistakes. We got to, even with an ex, we got to be thinking about growth and expansion and truth. And moving on. Because that's what's going to make for this. The Ten of Summer, which is behind it. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family. Be it relatives or chosen family of close friends. This could be connected to that heritage card too. Congratulations may be in order on happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. And behind this, also upright, is the Two of Spring, or Two of Wands, which is the Divine Union or Twin Flame card of the Tarot. Your vision, creativity, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner to assist you in your endeavors, or to expand the number of people who are helping you. This is also about having faith about these things coming to fruition, coming true. What else is going to help us? The universe, giving us some energy, sending a karmic energy in to teach us a lesson and to provide us with healing and support. Major Arcana card 21, the World. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons that life offered you with grace and courage. Major Arcana card 21, the World, for me has a fire element energy. So it is Mars, it is Jupiter, it is Leo, it is Aries, it is Sagittarius coming through to help us through a situation. Because it's a 3, it may require some patience. It may not happen overnight, but we can see it manifesting. We can see it beginning to take form, just like I just said. It is about the universe easing us out of a situation, a past situation that was maybe difficult, trying, went on for too long, and into one that for which we're far better suited. The next card is upside down. At the root, foundation. This is where we were stuck. The 8 of Winter. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you affirm your freedom. The 8 of Winter, it's about us being stuck here. This is the trying time. This is the difficult time that maybe caused the scrapes, the bumps, the bruises that the feminine on this picture now has. But again, she's moving beyond that triumphantly with the Ace of Winter, perhaps having taken that sword, the Ace of Swords sword, and cutting herself free from whatever this was that was keeping her back. So just like I said in the second spread, that something had recently ended and maybe it was to give us our freedom. Here we have this at the foundation, at the root. So this is from where we started. It's been released, well, we've been released from this, or have released ourselves, and that's made for transmutation. That's taking the negative energy, negative cords of attachment, negative emotions, and changing them to love, using them toward love, which allows for transmutation or continued ascension. And all this support again from the fire element, from Jupiter, from Mars, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, helping us to rise and to move beyond this past limitation. And at the heart of the matter, speaking of fire and Leo, Sagittarius and Aries, Mars and Jupiter, is the Queen of Spring, talented, brilliant, independent, and charming. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. You may have several priorities vying for your attention at once, but you can do it. Queen of Spring is coupled with the gateway because, again, once we move past these things, we leave them in the past and we're moving into a new chapter of our lives. That chapter is full of air and water. You see all these stars here? That's all the communication, that's all the dreams coming true, the prayers being answered, wishes being granted. And the water, that's all the love and emotion and the merging of two different worlds coming together to be joined as one. And in this space where they are one, that they share, growing, expanding. And another moon, another crescent moon. So again, this can be about telling us that this stuff is expected to happen on or around the Aries new moon. That's the heart of the matter. Boom. So I talked all that crap and then I made this reading far too long. So it will likely take me some time to get it up to you. And for that I apologize. But at the same time, I guess I was meant to talk about all the stuff I did. So for that, I don't apologize. Lastly, again, with my Egyptian Sibylla deck, we're going to begin with the King of Hearts. Opening to the Six of Hearts. So another Six of Cups, like our overall energy. Although it doesn't have the same meaning. King of Hearts. And the Three of Diamonds. So diamonds represent pentacles. And you can see this is about abundance. A card about abundance, growth, expansion, creativity. And the Jack of Clubs. Clubs represent the fire element. So this is like the Knight of Wands. Again, the meaning is completely different. This is a eunuch. And look at these two things here. It's kind of like an 11, right? Like a partnership, like a divine union or twin flame illustration. This guy is a eunuch, and he is genuflecting or kneeling in respect to the king. And the card asks the question, like, what ruler do you serve? It's basically about being a master of your own destiny, you know. What is your purpose? What ruler do you serve? What are you here to do? So it's connected to, again, the need to get to know oneself, but also as a eunuch, it means that his penis has been removed, has been cut off, or his balls have been cut off. Yeah, that's more correct. His balls are more accurate. His balls have been cut off. And that can go to the sexual frustration or erectile dysfunction and stuff that I was feeling before too. So I think that's another message to, again, get that checked out. And that can be part of why the masculine needs healing. Why he needs energy healing. To move beyond some sort of sexual difficulty that he's having. I don't want to keep getting stuck on this, but I'm just feeling there's a great need for healing. I'm not trying to tell you something, so you don't have to. I'm not even saying get the healing from me necessarily, but this is what's coming up here. That there's a need for that for somebody. So again, I will share some of the results of some of the healing that I've done, and I'm bad at it, but there are a number of testimonials on my Divine Light Cleanse page on Facebook for those who want to look there too. All right, advice. I'll actually leave the Sibylla cards for last. So first, from the angel therapy cards to the masculine. Have you asked the angels for help with this? Your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. So that's what you need to do. Grant them the permission. And be sure that you're specifically talking to beings of light. When you grant this permission, don't just grant access to yourself from any and everything. Being very specific on, who and or what you're calling in, even if it's your own ancestors. Make sure it's like I'm speaking to my ancestors, the ones that love me, and watch over me in a caring and nurturing way. I need your help. You don't want the people that were the scum of the earth in your life. Some of us are related to slave masters and, other sickos and stuff. You don't want to call them to help you. Or maybe you do. But in either case, be specific. Feminine. Ear chakras. So more about listening. Notice messages that appear as sounds, music, and words from both external sources and within your mind. These messages are real answers to your prayers. And you know what? Yesterday, I heard, like in my head, did I hear it on the radio too? I don't remember if I heard it in real life or not. I think it was just in my head. Purple rain, and that was a message. And I realized when I was doing the general reading, all the purple, I used my numerology deck, and a lot of the cards that came out were purple. And now I'm seeing it too. As I start to tell you this story, look how many major arcana cards are here on this placement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're purple in this deck, the major arcana. So, yeah, maybe we should look into the meaning of the lyrics to Purple Rain and, see if they have something, connected to you, if they mean something to you. I'll do it too, because I'm the one that heard it. Maybe it was for me, but I just felt that it was more global. It was for everybody. But in any case, messages in general that you hear, sounds, whether you hear them in real life or they're just in your head, can be answers to your prayers and to other questions that you've asked. I don't want to get stuck on this, but I specifically repeated that part where he says, I only want to see you. I only want to see you in the purple rain. So that line may be the one line we need to understand. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle to the masculine. Cthulhu, more purple. Cloak of wisdom. You already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. So that's, again, a message to the masculine about the being you're becoming and how you're coming into your gifts and strengthening, and the need to begin to understand yourself and believe in yourself. Feminine, Taurus, cosmic gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. And that means we're helping to manifest them. He's talking about our thoughts being powerful. It means what we think, we are, right? That saying, I think, therefore I am. It's about manifestation. Masculine, earth connection. So we started with Kronos and the need to connect from a masculine point of view to nature. A need to seek nature, to spend time with it, maybe to even call upon, if you're into that, Kronos, for assistance in this area. Spending time with nature is going to heal aspects of you, and any meditation or anything you can do. Luckily, it's getting warmer. I was going to say anything you can do to that end of spending time with yourself and with Divine Mother and Father outdoors, is going to be helpful to you. Or if you can bring nature indoors to you, same thing. That's going to be helpful to you. For us, feminine, answer prayer. Some more Nine of Cups kind of energy. Intentions are coming true. All these things that we're thinking and we're speaking over ourselves, they're beginning to actually manifest. Continue to have faith and to make sure that they're positive. Right? Prayers, dreams coming true, wishes being granted. Energy of Scorpio may be involved. And as well as Aquarius, or again, air and water. Or there can be, something happening for couples, combinations of air and water. From the animal tarot to the masculine, the Ace of Spring, a wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. So again, this is Jupiter, this is Mars, giving you something wonderful and perhaps unexpected, and potentially like overnight, all of a sudden something changes completely for the better for you. But you have to make the decision to sit it out or dance. You have to pursue it or not. Feminine, for us, the 8 of Autumn. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. Where you put your effort is where you're going to get your outcome. The energy that you use to put in that effort, if it's positive, then the outcome will be as well. From the Sibylla deck to the masculine, the 3 of Clubs. I will read you this card from the book. And feminine, our card is the 10 of Diamonds. It doesn't look as nice. I will read this one from the book as well. 3 of Clubs. Pride. Isn't that funny? I talked about how the masculine has a different sense of pride than the feminine, in my opinion. This card is called Pride. A hoopoe, H-O-O-P-O-E. Success and temporary achievement. The image we give ourselves could be that of victory and the ability to generate well-being, but also an inauspicious pride and vanity that create enemies and deteriorate that which we have accumulated. Being frugal in times of prosperity is difficult but necessary. And they mean that in regard to your energy too. Their advice: try to think about your success or the good that you have achieved recently. Now look at it through the eyes of others and try to empathize with them. Okay, so this is talking about already these gifts that you're coming into. Don't get too cocky, like you're, ahead of the game, better than other people. You can do that. I can do. Look what I can do. Be careful about that. Doing this exercise that they suggest is always helpful, and the cards will invite you to often change your point of view as well as to grow in strength and wisdom. So they want you to look at yourself and then imagine yourself through the eyes of other people, and it's to give you strength and wisdom, and or essentially to help you to remain humble. Right? It's an exercise in humility, from the way I read it. 10 of Diamonds. The thief or burglar who enters at night. Theft or an act of falsehood or deceit. So this is very much like the 10 of Swords, actually. The situation is worsening, and the causes are mainly external, brought on by strangers or those who are in the wrong. So again, it's about betrayal, hurt. We always think that others are the thieves, and we don't consider that we may be in the wrong too, or we may be the ones to commit negative acts toward third parties. Watching and waiting for better times will bring you good luck. Advice to all. All of us have had something, either physical, stolen from us, or more likely something taken which belonged to us. This advice consists of making an effort of imagining the object of the situation exactly as if we had not lost it. So making an effort. It might be connected to the 8 of Autumn. Making an effort of imagining a situation exactly as if we had not lost it. If that which you feel is not so exceptional, then perhaps nothing of real importance was stolen. So if you lost something or had something taken from you, stolen from you, whether it was something tangible or something not so tangible, like what you thought was, an emotional cord, a positive one. If you imagine yourself now, again, with it, and think, and if you don't get a feeling of, I don't know how I'm continuing to live without this thing, then maybe it really wasn't so important after all, or necessary to your life. It's about putting things in perspective, is what the feminine card is saying, and that, counting our blessings and determining like true worth of some of the things to which we assign value that really aren't that important in life. So that's it. On that note, I will close this reading. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. You find it helpful in your lives, that you're able to follow through with some of this stuff. This is very strong energy. Again, we have 6 major arcana cards here on the table. So very much karmic energy coming from the universe, meant to teach us some lessons and give us support this week. Those of you who do want a personal reading from me or healing from me or whatever, any of the things that I do, you can hit me up on Queenofswordsthelightworker.com or any of my social media or at gmail.com for my email. Thank you again for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and for joining me today. I'll be back with the moon reading. Namaste.